Hello crafty friends, welcome to day 29 of Die Cut December 2024. Today we've got a viewer's choice card. Several people asked for shaker cards, several people asked for more cover plate die ideas, so I decided to combine the two. And these are the dies I'm going to be working with. I have got two cover plate dies, a multi-size flower die, a stitched banner die and a hello die. So what I've got here is a piece of smooth white card, and I've put some double-sided adhesive sheet on the back of it. I've also got my cover plate die and a piece of baking parchment, and that's just between the card and the die to make it easier to get the die cut out of the die. So I ran that whole thing through my die cutting machine. And once it was all cut, I gave it a few good smacks on my glass mat to dislodge as many of the extraneous pieces as possible. And then I spent quite some time poking all the rest of the pieces out. But once I'd got most of them out, I peeled the release paper off the back of my die cut and then stuck the whole thing down onto vellum. I then weeded out the last few remaining extra bits and trimmed my vellum down so I had a lovely vellum backed cover plate die cut. Next, I took the die and another piece of smooth white card and die cut again, but this time I wasn't after the die cut, I was after the surround because I wanted to make a frame for my vellum backed die cut. Once that was cut, I used my guillotine to trim down the frame so it was about 1.5 centimetres wide all the way around. To attach the two pieces together, I flipped everything over and then used double-sided tape and carefully lined up the edge of the tape with the edge of the vellum-backed die cut and made sure it stuck down well to the frame as well. So that held everything together. Once that was done, I peeled off the release paper and then added some foam tape to the back. The foam tape is about 2mm thick, and I use this to create the well in which to put my shaker bits. To back my shaker, I chose a lovely colourful background from my box of backgrounds and bits. If you want to see how I made this background, then check out one of my messy mixed media card videos. I'll leave a link in the video description. It was a bit that was left over from the card making process. So once I'd chosen that, all I needed to do was make my shaker bits. So I sprinkled some chunky iridescent glitter in my well, and then I chose another bit from my box of backgrounds and bits. This is a blue starry embossed piece of paper with some lovely silver smushing on it. And I chose this because I thought the blue bits would stand out nicely against the warm tones of the background. Obviously, I've backed my die cut with vellum, so it's translucent. You can see through it, but it's not transparent. It's not completely clear. So you're not going to see detail through the vellum, but you'll see colour. So I chose some nice blue bits. In hindsight, I might have coloured this panel on the back before I die cut it with my wobbly circle die, because some of the bits obviously landed in the well with the white side facing the front of the card rather than the back of the card. So I would have got more blue if I'd coloured the back blue as well before die cutting it, but we live and learn. And because this is quite a large shaker, I decided to add some large shaker elements. And all I did was use one of my multi-flower dies and die cut out some white flowers. I popped lots of them in the well with all the other shaker bits, but I did stick some to the background. Because this is a large well and there's nothing in it to stop all the bits falling to the bottom, having some bits stuck to the background means there's always something above the pile of shaker bits at the bottom. Plus they catch some of the glitter and the other elements, the little blue circles. So it always looks like there's some distribution even when the card is stood upright. To adhere my background onto my well, I added a little bit of glue to the foam tape and stuck it down. I wanted to get a really good seal so none of the glitter fell out. Then I added double-sided tape all over the back of the whole thing and stuck it onto a piece of A4 white card that I'd folded in half. And then I trimmed that down to card size with my guillotine. And I felt this would be the easiest way to do it. All I had to do was line up the whole shaker bit with the left-hand side, the fold of the card, get that on straight, and then I could trim down the rest of it so that it had a similar border around the other three sides. For my sentiment, I die cut the word hello out of some very pale blue, almost gunmetal grey metallic card. I then stuck that on a wavy stitched edge banner die cut that I'd cut from mixed media paper. And I cut the banner down a bit to make it look as if it was coming in from the top right hand side of the card, and I glued that down with some more high-tack glue. And that's this card done and dusted. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you another way to use your cover plate dies, another idea for making shaker cards. And I hope you'll join me tomorrow for day 30 of Die Cut December. We've got another viewer's choice card. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.